am I going now? Just falling over dreams. Now I'm just so far gone, this isn't what it seems. Taking me so damn long, it's fading from belief. I need to slow this down, it's burning from beneath. Come break this line, this falls in my tight. Holding on for what it's worth my life. I'm not on your side, I'll make it up the vine. Find my way to giants in the sky. Tonight it comes to life.
Hello, welcome to the August 8th edition of the Toxic Customs Monday Night Customs Analyst Desk. Here we have myself as Analyst 1, and George is, I guess his VTuber is missing from here because he's not here. What a slacker. Do you have, like, can George just be Dwayne since he's going to be substituting? I'm not sure how this works.
Yeah, I'll fill in for George. That's no big deal. He actually messaged me privately and said he's saving orphans in the street. So I think he's got something more important to do right now.
What a swell person. But unfortunately, he's doing the wrong thing because there's nothing more important than Monday Night Customs and high quality analyst content.
Honestly, I'd leave him in the street.
There's George VTuber. So there he is. All right,
I think
so
it just got
today
more
we
attractive.
have. He's got a nice burger in his hand. Actually, I really miss burgers right now, so maybe I'll get one after the segment is over.
That's so relatable.
So today we have two games that we're going to review, just a couple of clips from both games, and I'll give some takes and see what went well and what our poorly thought through analyst takes were, and take it as they are. There's some fun team fights, and maybe we'll walk away having learned how to be better people for watching League of Legends games.
I know I'm not making it through tonight without embarrassing myself at least 3 times.
Me neither. All right, so David is going to roll up the chat. Twitch channel though, so I'm not sure if we're having technical difficulties or not. Alright, there we go. So in this first clip, we see our teams posturing at level 5 and 6. Remember, Team Jinx wants to stay non-committal, poke, and let Syndra and Jinx scale.
Who do you think is supposed to engage for the?
It looks like Volibear is doing it. Volibear engages, Rumble ults, forces a close range fight. Nyla and Zac CC red team, and they get a nice wombo combo off.
Oh my gosh, I think that Nyla ult hit 4 people. That's
it did.
That's just a blatant
Nobody could
demonstration of
escape
skill.
the Rumble ultimate, and everyone burned to death. That was a nice win for Team Rumble, handed to them on a silver platter.
Wow. Yeah, red team just exploded there. I mean, they had no chance. That's how the orphans that George is currently saving should be treated right now.
Moving
What do you
on
think?
to clip 2.
Should we roll it back? Maybe talk about
Should
some of the
we?
finer points of that last clip.
Sure, we can. So
Where
the finer
exactly did it
points,
fall apart for the red team? Like, where do you think the point of no return happened?
I think the point of no return happened when Volibear took the snowball, playing into blue team's advantages. Remember, we said blue team wants to brawl and red team wants to kite. But Volibear was like, no, these guys, we're gonna punch him in the face, and that forced this whole fight near the bush to happen. Jinx and Syndra didn't get the chance to scale and poke out, which is red team's advantage.
What if we listen?
You'll see impatience from some of these rookie players.
For sure. Moving on to clip 2. So in clip 2, this is the same game, and Team Rumble now has an advantage off of the last fight. We'll see what happens now. Oh, they make a terrible aggressive engage going in 2v5. However, Jinx is out of position and has no teammates between her and the enemies. She gets picked off by Akali and instantly dies. Despite
Wow,
that,
that
the
seems
engage
like a
was so
pretty
bad,
heavy-
it looks like red team might turn this around, but Mordekaiser doesn't commit in the 4v3, walks away. This is still pretty close, but Rumble finishes everyone off.
Oh, that looked like a pretty heavy Akali carry to me.
It was, but I think that red team could have salvaged the fight given how bad blue team's engage was. They went in with 2 snowballs without their team following them. Their team just didn't follow up. Red team didn't, commit to winning the fight and got scared in the 4v3.
Also, how much damage is Rumble doing here? I think he cooked everybody there.
Cooked everybody. Had, I think, Mordekaiser stayed in the fight, or Jinx not been out of position, if we scroll back to Jinx's positioning at the beginning here, had she put her teammates in between her and the enemies, then she wouldn't have gotten hit by that snowball, and this would have been a different fight.
Tell me, Peter, who do you think Mordekaiser should have ulted here?
I'm not super sure it matters, but if Mordekaiser had a chance to, I would have said Akali.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty hard to ult Rumble before he gets his ult off, so...
For sure. Alright, moving on to the third clip. This is the same game, and I don't think this clip matters that much because Team Rumble has such a huge advantage at this point that we will see them make some terrible engages and still win. Amumu
Yeah,
is
that's how I
not
like
even
to
in
win
the
games.
fight at this point. Zac goes in 1v5 and doesn't get punished for it. He's only half health. He should be dead right now. Amumu's not even near the fight yet. They take a good 6 or 7 seconds with red team having an advantage, but they still get cleaned up. It's just the goal difference is too large.
I noticed your boy Dwayne did absolutely nothing on Nyla that fight, and I think it's really cool that he gave his teammates an opportunity to shine.
What a swell person. All right, let's look at the second draft. Do we have a champion draft screen for game 2? In the second draft, we have blue team with Jarvan, Swain, Tarek, MF, and Nidalee. Blue team is a brawling team once again. And this time, their tools to go in, they don't have the tools like Amumu and Zac, but they do have a Jarvan and a Swain. Red team has Kayle, Morgana, Vigor, Jace, and Zeri, so they are much more of a scaling, kiting team. Their only disengaged tool is going to be Vigor Cage, but they will try their best. If this game goes on long enough and they can stall long enough, I think Red team will win the late game.
Now, Peter, tell me, looking at the composition of the red team, would you go AD or APMF in this situation?
In MF, I would go APMF in this situation. If I was MF, just because the enemy team is all squishy, and your late game is going to be weaker than the enemy late game anyway.
Yeah, honestly, I was thinking the same thing. Even though you don't really have any dedicated physical damage on the blue team, it's probably not worth it to get into danger range. You probably just want to poke from a distance with your E all game.
For sure. Now we'll see if blue team can close out the game before red team's. Let's roll the clips. So, looking at the first clip, we have the two teams posturing, and we'll see what happens here. Remember, Jarvan and Swain want to engage, and Jarvan comes in with a Taric stun and gets her, and Swain gets a 3-person pick on red team. After that much CC, it is really hard to come back, so red team loses this fight, and blue team starts with a nice lead.
Wow, I like how much damage that they were able to get off right off the bat immediately, and then the Nidalee did such a great job just cleaning up all those kills.
I agree. Everyone respected the Jarvan initiate, but they didn't expect the Swain pull, the Swain E.
Honestly, I think we're going to see a lot more Swain in the coming games.
This next clip coming up, everyone has their ultimates now with the level 6. Once again, we'll see what happens. Ooh, a nice binding from Morgana. Oh, a 4-person Swain grab, and that's going to start the fight. Everyone is brawling. Taric ult drops. Swain ult drops. Swain ult is just ticking on everyone. Oh, Swain is sustaining his ult, and everyone is fighting in his ult, making it last even longer. Vigor
Yeah,
is...
honestly. In situations
yeah.
like this, I can just imagine myself screaming, "Get out of the ult! Get out of the ult!" But that's just my imagination.
Yeah, look at that Swain ult bar. It hasn't dropped at all. Wow, that second clip is we can see that was a beautiful Swain catch. So we'll just roll that again. We can see that people are respecting the Jarvan spacing here, standing far away from Jarvan, but they are not respecting Swain as an initiator at all. That 4-person route right there really seals the deal for that fight.
Wow, that's just absolutely nuts.
Absolutely
Imagine
nuts.
if that misfortune ult came in just a half second earlier too. I mean, that would have ticked on everybody. They would have been dead before the fight even started.
For sure, and I also think that there is some champion knowledge here because no one exits the Swain ult. Swain ult stays up as long as he's doing damage to you, and it drops really quickly. Watch that red bar. Watch as soon as Vigor leaves this red bar, it immediately starts to drop, but then people re-enter it. That ult was half gone in the 1 or 2 seconds that Vigor was gone.
Yeah, I think this guy is super busted on this patch. I fully expect to see him pick ban in most of the games tonight.
All right, we have time for one more clip here, so we'll look at the third clip. So the blue team has built an advantage now with those early fights. We'll see what happens here. A great binding comes out on Nidalee, and they start the fight as a 5v4. This is a great fight for red team. We can see that Jace comes in the back line, and Kayle and Zeri are doing their damage, just kind of like trying to eat through front to back. Zeri's not actually doing anything. This is all Kayle right now doing the damage. Zeri's just kind of walking around, not really sure what Zeri's doing. This boy Dwayne is missing every auto attack. But
nice observation, Peter. We love to see that from our analysts.
For sure. See, look at those missed auto attacks. I'm not sure what's going on here. But red team does manage to clean up on the back of Kayle's work. So we do see that red team does have the advantage now that it's getting in later into the game, and they are able to slowly come back in. Unfortunately, we don't have any more clips.
Pretty rough sometimes. Would you actually rolling it back to the beginning of that last clip real quick? I just want to point out that I think that one dude has been an absolute powerhouse in our customs. He has gotten, I think he's near the top of the rankings now, and he's just been an absolute monster. Notice how he absolutely erases someone right at the beginning of the fight. That's the best play of the fight, in my opinion. And then immediately after, unfortunately, he also has what I think is the worst. Watch him immediately waste the Veigar ult right on Doomgeek as he's invulnerable with the Taric ult. That's just so brutal. We're going to have to clean up those plays if we want to see these players rise in the rankings.
For sure, but I think the main takeaway here is that the composition of red team was scaling. They just didn't get the chance to scale, and they lost too many early fights to blue team's superior early game. Not respecting the Swain. Well,
think a big thing
you can see
we've
that by
noticed-
watching the YouTube channel because we are out of time.
What's the biggest trend you think you've noticed before we move on to the games?
I think the biggest trend that we've noticed is teams are they have identities, but they get impatient, and the team with a later game identity or the kiting identity often tries to start a fight anyway, or doesn't let their team scale, and they would naturally win if they had a little bit more patience and respected people's respected spacing more.
Yeah, to add on to that, I've noticed that a lot of these fights start off with pretty bad engages, and the team that engages doesn't necessarily win. And sometimes when they have a bad engage, they're not even punished. I think if teams are going to be serious about taking these wins, they're going to have to clean up their engages just a little bit.
That is also a good point. All right, well, that's it for Monday Night's Customs Analyst Desk. Two unpaid interns giving their worst takes. You take them for what they are. We'll see you next time.